Hi, metal fans. I'm Rafael Bittencourt from Angra, and you're watching CMS TV. Keep on.
And what is up, everybody? Hello from Satan's oven. It's me, Chris Akin. It's that dude over there. It is Mr. Erik Ferentinos. And of course, it's Chris Akin Presents. Erik, my friend, how are you, man?
Doing awesome, as per the usual.
I'm glad to see you made it back. I'm hot, but I'll deal. I'm glad to see you made it back. I thought I saw that you had a preview of the hurricane, huh? Over the weekend?
Is that what it was? Yeah, that was nuts, man. We went out to Bay City, Michigan.
Right.
I should start by saying Delta Airlines has really been stepping it up in a good way. Because I noticed you had like reposted, I think, one of our old videos on the the network where I was complaining about them. So when they do good, I have to, give them kudos.
Yeah. Right.
They upgraded me, man, on I was first class on every flight. I had to take
nice.
4 flights, and it was first class on all of them. Of course, 2 of them didn't matter because it's when you get on one of those little planes just to go like a half an hour.
Right.
And it's like there's nothing. You can't tell the difference between a first class seat and not, other than you're just towards maybe the front of the small plane. But that all went smooth. Them picking us up went smooth. I was at the hotel taking a nap after the sound check, and when I woke up, it was like torrential rains and windstorm had kicked in, and I'm like, oh my God, I don't think we're going to play. The worst thing that happened was we had equipment that was still on the stage. Like Lynch Mob was opening the show.
Okay. George
Lynch. Right. And they played during this. I don't know if any of that footage went around that you happen to see of that, but they decided no one pulled the plug on this show for them, so they just kind of kept playing, and the rain was just blasting in right at them, sideways. And we had our gear kind of behind theirs, so the rain hit our pedal boards and stuff like that. And I was like pretty helpless because I was back at the hotels, and Johnny and Jason had gone down there early to watch Lynch Mob. And they're like, our stuff's getting soaked right now. And it was like, are you getting it? Is someone getting it? You're like freaking out. And they sent a picture, and Matt's pedal board was completely sopped, and his was turned on when it was sitting there. This Scott, a friend of ours that was working for us, I guess got electrocuted trying to pick it up.
Jesus. Well, heaven definitely
when the
came
rain
down.
It comes down.
Wow.
Oh my God. The lightning strikes again.
You know what's funny? I noticed I saw the set list from that, and they did play both Heaven Comes Down and Lightning Strikes Again, and they played them both early, probably when it was raining. I'll bet they did.
Someone really should have said something. I mean, they were the nicest people. The town, that Bay City, that puts on this fireworks show.
Sure.
Those are expensive, by the way. The fireworks shows, I've heard them talking about. It was like hundreds of thousands of dollars to have that 3 days of fireworks go on for the city. But I guess they allocate budgets for that. This was originally supposed to be Jack Russell's Great White headlining, and as many have heard, a lot of his shows have canceled out since that last.
Which is good. Not because he's not playing, but be good because he's getting himself off the road and hopefully getting himself fixed.
Right, getting some rehabilitation in because it wasn't looking good. One of those whatever last shows we saw, and I think now they're trying to salvage whatever they can and calling it Friends of Jack Russell,
right? And
trying to get. But as far as this event, which was a huge event that they had a lot of invested in, they had to know if he was going to be there or not, and so they ended up apparently pulling the plug on him and had the opportunity to get the Piercy band did the switch in time. I noticed at the sound check, they only had like the backline company only had one guy helping to get everything set up. So it was a pretty lengthy sound check.
Right.
Aside from that, though, everything was pretty smooth with the show. Oh, back to George Lynch. So nobody really pulled the plug on the show for them. So they played way longer than they should. Some of their equipment got ruined. George, he has a bass player that had this bass he was showing us that's made of like all aluminum or something. Looks like an X-Men bass or I don't know. It's like it's trippy looking. I know Matt really liked it. Matt liked the dude's bass, but anyway, it was like pretty much a lightning rod with 4 strings on it.
Okay, like, great.
But this thing, his bass got totally destroyed or something at this show, so he was super bummed. Who knows how much that thing was.
Sure.
I know the backline lost 3 amps, Marshall amps, and an Ampeg bass head that was sitting out, which was our stuff. They had to the whole show was kind of delayed. Like we were supposed to play a longer set, but we ended up only playing for like an hour because the time between George getting off and then this backline guy having to go through each one of the amps to see which ones were still working after they got rained on. Like nobody put a tarp over any of this stuff. It was a little like they didn't have a contingency for if a sudden rainstorm, nor apparently does anyone read the weather or look at the news or anything like that. I hadn't heard about it.
You had to be shitting because that was your first gig with the new guitar, right?
Well, the guitar was safe. I should have taken my pedal board and put it backstage too. I don't know why I didn't, but I just figured it would be okay for some reason, like behind the amps. I wasn't expecting rain to come in from the side and get it wet. Matt's one was way worse. Mine actually, it was wet, but we ended up taking like blow dryers. When Matt and I showed up, we took blow dryers from the hotel rooms, and we were back there blow drying our pedal boards, trying to get them going. I thought for sure we were not going to play, but after like an hour, that whole storm just like blew through, and then it was like the sun was shining. All the people that I saw from my hotel room earlier that were running like a disaster had just unfolded. I knew I had made a video on my subscriber page. You probably saw. We should show that. That was kind of funny. That was on my page where I basically woke up from my nap and was like kind of showing everybody what was going on. And before I had even talked to anybody, I gave my grim prognosis of what I thought was going to be going on for the show.
I'm finding a lot of Charlie Cat. Jesus Christ.
No, look on my subscriber page. My subscriber page.
How do I get to your subscriber page from here?
Oh. Well, if it's too much trouble, don't worry about it.
Just keep talking. I'll find it eventually.
Well, so anyway, we did eventually go on, but the weather just like I made this video, and then the weather got even worse from then, and I could see people running for their lives. Like I go, oh no, this whole anybody who was at this event has run for cover at this point.
Right.
But happy to say that after an hour, the sun came out, and the majority of those people came back to the event, and they really were excited for the show. I have to say, they were like, "Come on!" and they were cheering when they saw us, start to bring some of the gear back out. They were really excited about it. So we proceeded to play the show. The highlight.
I got the video, by the way, if you want to.
Okay, well, yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
All right, here we go.
Yeah, this is from my hotel. I
woke up from my nap. We're going to be rocking soon, but however, I noticed a huge windstorm and rainstorm outside. Like I know Lynch Mob's playing like right over here somewhere, but I could see that it's coming down. I could see the wind just pushing the rain on the rooftops. It looks fucking rough. Pardon my French. Yikes. I did not see that coming. Oof. Well, I got paid already. I'm already paid, so it doesn't matter what happens.
You're like, all right, good.
Wow, for an outside gig, that's gotta suck. I bet you everybody's leaving right now. But we'll see. We'll see, man. I'm packed up and ready to go. I'm gonna meet these guys for a lobby call and hope for the best.
Like, fuck it, I got paid. I don't give a fuck.
That's right. There's times we've done like a rain dance when we've heard there might be terrible rain, and we
Right.
go back to the room like, yeah, you get to a point, like, especially if you're tired or something on the road, where you're like, I'll take a
Right.
day off and it would pay us not to have to like do this right now.
Yeah, you're like, fine, whatever.
Younger bands are like, what? We gotta play no matter what.
Dude, I
Who
get
cares
it,
if
though.
if
know what?
lightning hits us?
With any kind of show, though, dude, before you get to doing it, you don't want to do it.
Right.
I ain't gonna lie.
Bing.
Doing this one, doing Seth, doing especially CMS, where I know it's 6 fucking hours.
Yeah.
That 8 o'clock when I first wake up, I'm like, come on, throat, be scratchy, don't have any voice. I do that all the
Chris is a
time.
grumpo right before the show, folks.
I
If you're
really
wondering
am. I
What
really
happens
am.
backstage on the Chris Aiken Presents? It's pretty much.
Well, I'm getting it all out of my system. That's really
Just
what
woke
it is.
up from a bad dream and it's about to unfold on the show.
And most of the time it doesn't. Most of the time I turn the mic on and I snap right into, hey everybody, isn't it great to be here? You know,
That's right. You do.
You know, but yeah, I fight it too. It's hard because you know you're going to be doing it for a while, and even though you enjoy it and it's fun, until it starts being fun, it's work. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know what I mean more than anybody.
Well, you mentioned the guitar, which I love the guitar, by the way. I have this thing set up so great at now.
Yeah.
However, I should say when he sent it to me, which I got it just before the show last Monday, right? That night I didn't really get to do much with it. The next day I was kind of pressured, like people were like, they wanted to hear the guitar. I didn't even have it set up really. And so I played a little something that everybody really liked. I had like come up with a little riff on it and I played it. Everybody loved that. So I'll have to do more stuff like that because that went over well. But I hadn't had it really set up yet to really do my thing on. And when he sent it, he had like the neck was all loose and the contraption, the whammy bar thing wasn't set right. The claw in the back needed to be like fit, you know. I mean, that's subjective, you know. Each guy has their own preference, you know, for such things like with guitar. But I didn't have any time because then I had to like throw new strings on it, and we had to go out to this show. So long story short, when I got to the hotel, I was going to work on it, and this thing needed so much work. Like I was up till like 5 a.m. of the show getting this thing ready to go. But happy to report that it did do its first gig very well. It got to play on stage next to George Lynch. The guy came back. He came on stage and played Round and Round with us, which was like super amazing. Because I have to preface this by saying, like, when I was first playing guitar when I was 15, I loved the Dokken records that George Lynch played on. Like I bought all the Dokken records. I thought him and Eddie Van Halen were like my two hugest guitar heroes. And around the time they did the Dream Warriors and all that, he was like top notch in my book. And I saw Monsters of Rock back at the LA Coliseum with Van Halen and Dokken and their Scorpions, everybody, Metallica. So I was a huge fan, you know, back then as a teenager, and this was like a big deal. Like I knew he was opening the show. I had mentioned it to you, and I had said, "Wow, you know, it's amazing that he's opening up." I almost feel bad because he's like such a big idol of mine. But I had no idea he was going to actually come out and like just do his thing over, you know, Round and Round, which was pretty amazing because he was on my side. Like he takes stage left. I was on stage left. So.
Yeah, there you guys are, just kind of looking at each other.
Right. So yeah, I was like, holy shit. I don't know if I wanted to play it.
It wasn't good.
It was just I don't know which video it is. That's why.
I have no idea. I just
there's a lot of fan. Like I'll tell you, take us back to big screen, please. There's a lot of people that are a little egregious. We've talked about this with like posting concerts. Like I saw somebody had posted the entire freaking concert. Yeah, I saw that. That's not the one I clicked. I clicked. And Martin Bowker is the one that I would just. I don't know which one it is. Like I have to see it first because depending on where it's being filmed from, it sounds different. Yeah, the one that's the full screen is like in the middle of the screen, like the full show rather. Right. But my gripe is like Brave Words. Like goes, watch the entire fan filmed concert and like brings a bunch of attention to some dude where like now this guy's gonna get 50,000 views on his YouTube page where he like sat there and bootlegged our entire show,
right,
and put it on. So, dude, if you're listening, that wasn't cool, in my opinion. You know what I mean? Again, like, where's our percentage of that? Like, I wish in some cases Steven would have that kind of stuff taken down. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Jordan's Rock Vault, take it down.
Yeah, like, what the fuck, man? You know, you
He's
sat
got
there and just
9,400 views. 9,400 views on it
in just a couple days. Yeah. So, yeah, that ain't cool, man. You don't have a right. When did people start thinking they have a right to do that? You know,
no. People.
I mean, that used to be a really underground thing. Like, if you were out selling bootlegs, that could be like jail time. You know what I mean? And now it's just like, doop-a-doo. Oh, going to the show tonight to boost my page, my YouTube page.
Yeah, so,
how do they get away with that?
And people sometimes walk in. I've seen this. I'm sure you've seen it. If I've seen it, they walk in now with like a tripod and stuff, and set up in a corner, and they set up like they're there to film the show.
Now, for the people that want to like put a little clip up or part of a song, that's one thing. But yeah, when you just put the entire concert, you just ruined any kind of surprise for the next people that are going to come to the show. They've just watched the entire show. And I just think that's so lame. And who are you to think that you're some pro video guy, that your camera sounds the best or whatever shit? Your camera sounds like shit. You know what I mean?
Well, I've always made that argument all the time. Like, I'll shoot like a minute of like 3 or 4 songs over the course of a show, never a whole song and never the whole show, because let's be honest, and I wish people would just be honest with themselves. Who goes back and watches it? Nobody ever goes back and watches their videos of their concerts.
Well, there's these people that have a YouTube channel with concerts. They become professional bootleggers, and really, it's going to be a great day when I watch that just get taken down for all the bands they screwed to boost their own channel. Because, you know, like the one I watched, it was like the guy's filming, he's standing right in front of Monaco, and you just have just his amp. You know what I mean? You don't even hear me. You don't hear my vocal. You don't hear anything. It's just that's not how the show really sounds.
Right.
And here it's like, hey, everybody, this is what you're going to get. And that's not what you're going to get. It's not going to sound like that when you're actually there. This guy's just it's same with like comedy shows or magic shows or anything like that. It's lame to show the whole event and maybe somebody would want to see it, but you're influencing them in one way or another with what your interpretation of the quality of your video.
Well, and comedy shows have kind of been able to keep it out for the most part. You don't see a whole lot of whole comedy sets from fans. You might see a joke or two or a minute or two, but you know, I know every comedy club I've ever gone into, they make an announcement ahead of time saying, "Yeah, put your fucking phone away."
Yeah,
and I've seen them go and confiscate phones in the comedy clubs.
Right. I mean, it's easy to jam a phone in a club, but you can't stop a video. Really, I mean, there should be a way to do it where they know, Apple knows the venues where they are, and it won't work. The video won't work in that venue. It should be able to be like that, because I know people.
Be like Tool or whatever, where they collect them up on the way in. First,
stop the show to kick somebody's ass for it.
Well, they just don't let them in. They don't let them in. They give them a lock box or something, or a bag or something, and they put it away and give them a ticket, and you lose your phone for the course of the concert. Then when you're on your way out, you give them your ticket, you get your phone back.
I just think of like all the episodes where we were just like had a guest on, and we're playing 30 seconds of their song, and they totally demonetized our whole video. And how these people are getting away with this just because it's a live version of the show. They're somehow getting away. That's copywritten material. So I think Steven has to be the one that actually like goes after to stop these people. But it's so egregious that it's like you'll spend your whole life trying to do it.
I was going to say, what's he going to do? Go up every Sunday after gigs and, well, we need to take down Reels to Riffs video. We need to take down Jordan Rock Vault. He's got 8 videos. And, you know, is he really going to do that? He'll spend a whole day every single weekend. I mean, they'll give Jason something to do.
Right. Well,
but he's not booking shows and all this other shit.
If anybody should be putting up those kinds of videos, it's Steven. Or you know, he should be like, when I see this guy, like I'll probably take that guy's video and I'll take his whole video and I'll try to monetize it however I can. You know what I mean? Because fuck you. You know,
you don't own it.
Anybody who takes bootlegs, takes my photo, takes anything, and thinks that they're there to make money and I'm not, think again. Again.
I hear you. So anyway, back to George Lynch.
George Lynch, on a happy note, got to jam with my hero, George Lynch. There he was. He's standing right there, Mr. Scary. We're playing around. I'm just like, I can't believe this happened, you know.
Right.
But super cool memory to put on in the memory banks of cool stars that have come on stage where you could say,
How did he play it?
Like George would, like he was all over the place doing it, whatever. But he's
he just doing the solo, or was he doing the riffs too? Or
he was doing a little bit of everything. Yeah, he was playing a little bit of the. I mean, what's interesting about him is his guitar will be tuned maybe standard. I don't know, but we're a half step down. But he doesn't care. Like he's played on on a Rat record we did once, a tribute record, and he just comes in with this guitar standard and just goes, yeah, so what, it's mine's in standard, yours is half step down, so what? And he just kind of changes a half step while he's playing, and he does mostly do leads, and he never tries to do the same thing that he's hearing happening with the other guitars, you know, for the most part. I think he was backstage going over the song just to kind of know where the chords were, and he did learn like the double lead part of it, so him and Monaco kind of get on that one about the same time together. I mean, when you're watching a video, it was more special when you were there. For everybody there, it was an exciting thing, but depending on the video you watch, it's kind of.
Did you guys know? Like, did you know he was going to come up on stage, or did he just? No, he was just there and he popped up.
Yes, I'm sorry. Let me back up here. We found out that was going to happen like right before we did the gig.
Okay.
They had locked him down on it or something, and then he has a tech that brought his stuff back out, his whole setup. And so when it was time to play Round and Round, the kid came out and threw all George's stuff down really quick, and it took about maybe a minute and a half to get him ready to go. And then we just kicked into the song, and that was that. And he was pretty prepared. I mean, he has an energy too, George. You know, it's like the focus did just kind of go. You can even tell from the photo, you know, or any of the photos that were put up. Mm-hmm. He's definitely like, boom, George Lynch. You see him, and he's there.
Yeah. He's a presence.
He's your focal point. He's a presence, yes.
He is a presence. I mean, I've interviewed him a bunch of times, and he's always sort of strange. Like he's I'll say that about George. He is, and he's very hard to read. If you don't know him, like you could probably read him a little better than me. Mm-hmm. But, you know, the few times I've interviewed him, maybe a dozen times, like a lot of times, because he only does a project every 2 weeks. So, you know, there's a lot of opportunity to interview George Lynch, and I've interviewed him at least a dozen times. And I'm telling you, he has a weird cadence to how he talks. Like, he doesn't talk like me and you are talking. He'll be like, so then we got to the gig. And then we get, you know, and then he comes back, and it's like right when you start to talk, he comes back talking again. It's a weird.
I think that might be I don't know what his hobbies are, you know, on the side, but I do that sometimes too. I kind of space out in the middle of a sentence. I'll go, you know, it's like when you.
Yeah, but we know why you do. We know why you do.
Like put these huge long pauses and what? You know,
Susan George, you know what else George does when you interview him a lot? He plays his guitar. And it's a pet peeve of mine. It drives me absolutely nuts, and a lot of guitar players do it. I don't care you because it's you. But it drives me crazy when they're in the middle of a, you know, what do they call that? A press run? A press day?
Right. Junket.
Where they're literally just every 30 minutes they're doing another interview, and they're doing like 16 in a row, and they're playing their guitar, because that means they're playing the guitar the whole time. And it's one thing if they make it fun. Like I'll tell you a guy that's made it fun, Paul Gilbert. Paul Gilbert answers questions with his guitar, which is really weird. Like Paul Gilbert, you'll ask Paul Gilbert a question. You'll be like, oh, you know, when you were writing this new record, tell me about this song. And he'll be like, oh, you mean this? You know, and he starts playing it, and you know, he's like, well, first I tried this. Then
I thought you were going to be like, so George, yeah, tell me, Paul, about your thing. And he'd be like, no, he ain't
that bad. I've had that though. I
That
have
would have
had
been cool.
that, though.
Like Steve Vai talks like that.
Now, Vi's another one. Super hard to read. Super nice. One of the nicest guys ever to interview. But he's smarter than all of us.
Which guy?
Steve Vai.
Oh, Steve Vai. Oh, he's amazing. Yeah.
But he's amazingly smart. Like if he took an IQ test, it would be like 275 or something, where the rest of us are all in the like 110 range. I mean,
I think mine's higher than that. Bro.
He's very smart. And when you talk to him, he goes back and forth into theory, but then he says, well, most people probably won't understand what I mean by that. And then he talks real worldish, but he like starts. He's like a physicist that starts at the top saying, well, you mix the molecules this way or that way. And then he says, or for you dumb people, you bang this into that and it makes this, you know, he's funny like that, but in a good way, not in a negative way or an insulting way or anything. It's just how he speaks, which is interesting. Right. Guitar players are weird birds, man. No offense, but every guitar player, including you, every one of y'all got your little idiosyncrasies to you. I think that's part of the creative part, right?
Right, probably. Those guys, though, the ones that are, you know, on the frontiers of guitar and have like changed the guitar altogether, they work on a whole different level, their brains, than the rest of us. Takes us decades to catch up to where they were when they were, you know, in their teens and 20s
or whatever, right?
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I used to love watching all Steve Vai's videos because he would always put the extra effort into, if it was like something to promote a pedal or something, he would like he would do special effects where he'd have another hand or something, and like two hands come up to play at the same time. It's like, wow, that's a lot of cool extra effort he put into stuff. I don't know. Yeah,
he's good, man. I love talking to that dude. I like talking to guitar players in general. Because singers are all up their own ass, so it's a lot of times it's really difficult to interview singers. Because when you interview singers, a lot of the time you'll be like, tell me about this song. Well, you know, I wrote the lyrics. You know, it's just like right into what they did on it. And it's almost never the, you know, the story of, well, this guy came up with a riff, and then the drummer and the bass player really laid down a bottom end to it, and then I came in and I had an idea. It's always... well, you know, that song's about loving your girlfriend, and you know, just boom, right into it. You know?
Steamrollers, yeah.
Yeah, they don't see the music. The music is secondary to them, to their voice.
Right. That's funny. Yeah, so anyways, no, a good trip. Got back early on Saturday, so I was able to still kind of enjoy the weekend and whatnot. It takes me a couple days to recuperate because I get like about 8 hours sleep in those 3 days I'm gone.
Right.
But I'd say the show was a success. We got to play it. We all got paid. We got home safe. We got about a week and a half off, and then we'll head out to Jurgles. I think it's our next gig.
Right.
But I'm ready to rock. The guitar is ready to rock. I'm super excited about promoting the Splawn guitar.
Hell yeah.
I was hoping to get more pictures of myself from the show. I don't know what happened there. Usually I see more stuff, but I haven't. But definitely these next couple of gigs, I'll be posting a lot from it.
It's probably because you told all the photographers, stop taking your fucking picture.
I know. I pissed off every photographer. They're like not even putting me in the photos anymore.
Because I saw a lot of Stevens, but I didn't see a whole lot of you this time. I was like,
I know. There was somebody took a bunch of pictures from the other side of the George thing, and somehow the way we aligned as a band, I disappeared in the lineup too. It was like an eclipse. Now I did hear from Count Cracula.
Okay.
And Count Cracula had a movie request. He wanted to make the next Tuesday Night Fright Bite that we do have something to do with the vampire.
Yes.
And so I don't know. Maybe we could find a trailer for it. I don't know if that's on YouTube, maybe, but
I will say this. Sir. Well, go ahead. Yeah. You can announce it, then I'll say it. Go ahead.
Okay. So, anyways, he picked an '80s movie because he knows we're kids of the '80s, and he picked a movie that's called Robo Vampire.
Yes. Now, I'm just going to tell you, when you threw me the text from the Count, I gave this. I looked it up. I found it. I didn't watch it, but I did 30 seconds here. Then I scrolled in 30 30 minutes and watched 30 seconds here. I scrolled in another 15 minutes. I watched like 4 or 5 points. Yeah, this is perfect.
Okay. I have no idea. I saw. Go ahead.
I watched one part, and I have no idea what the even premise is to it. So I'll just tell the part, and people will see it. A guy falls out of a tree, but his foot is stuck in the tree, so he's hanging from the tree. And a guy shoots him, and the special effect is he just disappears. So it's like, and he's gone. And I was like, "Oh yeah, perfect! I've got the trailer."
See if there's a trailer. I want to see get a taste of what this is going to be like.
All right, let's see. Here it is. It's the trailer for the next Fright Bite. Robo Vampire.
A futuristic android experiment clashes with a paranormal beast in a spine-tingling tale of terror.
Oh no, a snake!
The insidious drug trade projects itself into the hearts and minds of helpless souls on the brink of destruction. Come with me! Death leads to a new life in a dark world where terror reigns supreme. $20,000. $30,000. Come on! Since Tom's dead, I want to make use of his body to create an android-like robot. Mr. Glenn, will you approve my application? You're assured of success? Innocent men and women are thrust into the living nightmare of a vampire incarnate.
Look out!
Unspeakable torment awaits those entrapped in the deadly web of deadly drug use.
Wow.
All right.
It just keeps going.
Oh my god, that's pretty long. Thank you. Wow. So 3 words. Oh fuck yeah.
Yeah, it looks
Because
fantastic.
This is actually a little higher budget than what we're used to on the Fright Bite.
I don't know about all that. The audio recording certainly is not, but
Yeah, that audio was a little rough. Hopefully
I'm
it's-
hoping it's just the movie. It didn't sound that dank on. I was watching it on Tubi or something.
Right. It's what, it's not as good as Tubi because you're watching a compressed YouTube that they put up or something on there, so it sounds all funky. But
let me tell you how wacky this movie is, though. This is why the Count rules sometimes, because he finds the real in-depth things. The Count told me that this was on Tubi and Pluto.
right.
So I started with Pluto, just because they have an easier search than Tubi.
Right.
The Pluto version comes with a director's cut where they go through the movie as you're watching it.
Oh
and
my
talk
goodness.
about what they're doing for this movie.
Wow.
For this movie, like they're literally going, and it's a Joe Livingston movie. Joe Livingston, who was born in 1947. I was like, what the hell am I watching here? Who put in the time to do this director's cut?
That's hilarious. So that was Pluto. So obviously we'll go Tubi because we're doing our own.
Yeah, we'll do Tubi.
But good stuff. So that is the announcement, the big announcement for the Fright Bite, which I don't have my calendar anywhere near me, but
yeah, I don't know what to do.
I believe this is
22nd, 23rd, something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I should
don't
be
have a
around.
calendar either. Whatever. The Tuesday after you're here.
that's right.
The Tuesday after Northfield.
So, and that's if you're a Caps local, you'll get to watch along with that. If you're one of the Eric Ferentino subscribers, you will be getting access to that. We send out the link to everybody kind of at the last minute to you limit
to
piracy.
Avoid the pirates.
Yeah, I know. I mean, we figure, some of these people are probably going to share it with a buddy or whatever.
Whatever.
That's okay. We're for now.
If we were worried about it, you wouldn't be charging $1 a month.
Right. It's a token dollar. But thank you to the people that do, throw me that tip, and we're proving that we give you something of value. Don Perry says a vampire movie picked by Count Cracula.
That's right.
Or J-Rad says, oh man, the production level exceeds the other Fright Bite movies. Yes.
Yeah, it does.
We needed some intervention for our buddy Chris here's choices.
Hey, my choices have been fantastic.
You did have some good ones. You did have some good ones.
I don't care what anyone says. Get your fucking super chats going if you really want your comment read. What are you doing?
That's right.
Go there to Rumble and hit that little $sign at the bottom. Throw us $1 or 2 or 10 or 100. I was watching a show.
Yes.
And it's a wrestling show, and all the guy does is he watches whatever wrestling is on. Like right now, he's probably watching Monday Night Raw. And after Monday Night Raw, then he comes on and reviews the Monday Night Raw that was just on TV. This guy gets 100 freaking super chats a week. Some of them for like $100 a hit.
Right.
I'm not telling anybody they got to spend $100 a hit, but come on.
Yeah.
Support the show a little bit. At least a little bit. $1.
$1 make you holla.
That's right. But,
so, today, speaking of, watching that violent movie there.
Yeah.
On Facebook, of all things, I was waking up this morning. I was just kind of looking at my phone before I got up, and I was checking. I had some Facebook alerts, and then I did like everybody does. You do your little scroll. Mm-hmm. And man, I saw a video. I was going to ask you if you had seen this today going around, but it was a really messed up video involving like a monster truck and a cop getting run over.
No. I didn't see
God.
That.
I almost, it disturbed me. I don't want to try to find it or anything because
I do.
Yeah, if you see it, I don't know. It was weird. Some guy was like had the video and it was in my thing. It looked
ran
like
over a cop or a police car.
Well, it looked like it was almost taking place on a football field or like a monster truck thing. So at first I was thinking I was watching something like that, but you hear this big truck. It wasn't a monster truck, but it was probably the truck that the guy who drives the monster truck drives when he goes home after work at the monster truck raceway. It was pretty big and it was loud. And like you basically see a cop car and you see a cop like behind the car and the lights are going and there's other cop cars around and you see maybe a couple vehicles and you see this truck and then all of a sudden you hear the truck like backs up, like pulls away and then comes flying towards the car and the cop that's standing behind the cop car.
Wow.
And watching this video is a reminder what not to do.
Right.
Like if a car, you can tell a car is going to come to ram your area or come towards you. You don't want to like get right on the car. You don't want to be like, oh, let me duck behind the car here to save me from this huge truck that's fucking about to plow into us. Because what happens next? The big truck hits the cop car and the guy goes flying like faces of death. Like it wasn't like a slide, a slip and slide kind of slide. It was like he was flipping like a very fast, like, and I think he hopefully died from that because what happens next is the truck keeps going now, knocks the car out of the way, and just runs over the cop's head. Just splat,
squish, splat.
It was like I go, is this a effing movie? But I'm like, I don't think it is. I think this happened, and I couldn't even like go back to watch it again. It was like, man, it just ruined my day. Like,
dude, you gotta send me those.
Nobody should be posting that on Facebook. You know,
at least without it. And if they do have to post it on Facebook, they should at least be tagging me because I love my murder porn. That's for sure.
I was going to ask you if you had seen it because
I have not, and I can't find it either. I don't see it here, like on YouTube.
Bizarre.
Either.
Yeah, I mean, it shouldn't
see
be. It
I see
shouldn't
a lot
be.
of other stuff that I will not put up here. But
It should be. It should be maybe something on some Twitter thing, perhaps, but not something that should be on YouTube or.
Bring back E-Bomb's World.
It's funny because thinking back when I was in my early 20s, I totally was fascinated with death.
Oh yeah,
and probably from age 13, actually, 13 to maybe 23. I was all about looking up as many photos of dead people, crash scenes, you name it, faces of death, all that stuff. I had almost an obsession with death. That's all I can say. But then I just by the time I got in my late 20s or my 30s, that my whole focus just changed from there. And now I have no interest in seeing anything like that. I don't want to see people getting hurt. I don't want to see anything. I don't want to see an animal hurt. I don't want to I'm so not on that level anymore. So this bummed me out to see big time.
I'm always in.
I figured you would be.
More murder, more better. More murder, more. I watch it for entertainment, and I make no bones about it. I love when there's a good riot going on because somebody did something. I will. It's the only time I turn on the news. Honestly, right. If I hear that there's a riot in Ferguson, I watch that for 10 hours. That entertained me to no end because I liked seeing it. I'll admit it. I'm a sucker for ignorance. Yeah. I'm a sucker for ignorance. I really am.
There's no shortage of video of stuff nowadays. I'm on Reddit probably the most because I have there's so many subforums. I'm on there, but you can't help that there's always some video that you don't want to see that goes on there at some point. But
dude, Twitter's my shit, and man, it's all on Twitter.
Right.
Everything. And there was 100 people shot in Chicago over July 4th weekend. I think all 100 are on Twitter. I think
all the shootings, every one of them.
Every shooting was on Twitter.
I'll tell you can learn something from these death videos or these stupid people videos. Learn what not to. Hey, this 4th of July, maybe don't set off a firework on top of your head.
Well, dude, and people are just dude, this is a true story. So on the Seth show on the 3rd, on the bonus content that we do for the Seth show, we did some video of some crazy fireworks mishaps, and we didn't show anybody getting their hands blown off or anything, but it was just somebody lit a firework and it shot into their car and blew up their car, or blew up a big pile of fireworks that was off to the side, or it was that kind of a thing, right? Well, one of the videos was a guy that as he was driving by, there was a family on their porch, and he lit a firecracker and just threw it from his car onto their porch. Ugh. And the people scattered, and nobody got hurt, I don't think. So, but they all scattered, right? Mm. So we end the show. I get a call from Seth an hour and a half later. He was driving home from a restaurant, and somebody pulled up, or he was driving down the street, and somebody threw a firecracker at his car while they were driving. People are fucking nutty, man.
They are.
They're nutty. And all I could say to Seth was, good thing it was you and not me, because my window would have gone down and a bullet would have gone out. Yeah. Would have been like, pa-poom. Good night,
that's the thing. There is a lot of people traveling around with guns in their car.
In Ohio, there sure is.
Yeah.
It's legal here. It's open carry.
I've stated many times that I don't do that because I would totally shoot people. I would shoot everybody. I would just I know myself, and so I go, you can't do it, Eric. You gotta don't even own a weapon. No.
I'm actually pretty disciplined because I really don't want to go to jail for some asshole. But I do roll just because I don't trust anywhere now. I definitely roll with my pistol all the time.
Ohio's different, a little different.
Yeah.
Although I will say, let me say this: to me, it seems like it's kind of strange, but there are no cops around anymore. Mm-mm. It's something I kind of noticed. It's obviously a planned thing, but I've noticed that this huge police presence that used to be I used to complain about it because I'd see so many cops all the time.
Sure.
I'm like, these guys need to back off. They're just you'd see 8 cops on one street writing tickets. I'm like, there's these. I used to say, hey, how about you just come when we call you?
Right.
You don't be out entrapping people and all this stuff. But it's gone from that since the pandemic to I don't see anybody, or ever since a couple of the people got killed or whatever. That one, that what's that one black dude that everybody flipped out when they those cops
Michael
killed him.
Brown or what was the other one? Tavon or something?
Whoa, oh yeah, the Martin kid. Well, that was a while
Tavon
back.
Martin, yeah.
No, this one was more recent.
Michael,
it was
George Floyd.
yes, that was ridiculous. That was a ridiculous. All these protests that went on. I forgot what we were talking about here. I had a
Cops
stone.
and the lack of cops.
Oh yeah. So it seems like cops were on the shit list for everybody for a while during the Floyd protests, but now like somewhere between then now the pandemic, it seems like they're nowhere to be found. You really don't see them at all. Yeah. I saw one cop today, and it was like citizens on patrol. It was like the old senior citizens. Like they didn't even. They used to have a regular police car. Now they just give them like a Prius or something and put like some cop paint on it. But yeah, you don't see him. Is that the same for you over there, or is it?
I mean, I still see him a little bit, only because my cunt neighbor calls him on me for playing loud music on occasion. So they come and park out in front of my house on occasion. But I don't see him a lot. I know the day that they made it legal here, which was sometime last year, that they said we were officially an open carry state. I started carrying all the time. And I mean, I don't go anywhere. You know that. I don't go anywhere. Right. But, like even going to the bank, I go to the bank once a week. I do some banking. Mm-hmm. I do it almost all through the drive-through thing too. And there was one time, maybe 6 months before they made it legal for the open carry, that I was in there doing my shit and a guy came up on me. Like came up into the in through the out thing of the whatever.
Oh, where you're parked to go into
the
with the
tube,
thing. Right?
Where I really couldn't move or get away from him or whatever. And he started trying to come in toward
driver's side
my driver's side window. Where I couldn't really move without really hurting him.
Right.
Because if I'd have moved, I would have squished him against the the wall. And I was thankful. Everybody always made fun of before they made open carry legal here. I always kept a saw in my car in the passenger seat.
A saw?
I saw a little handsaw for exactly that reason. If anybody ever reached in, I'm gonna cut their fucking hand. Maybe not off, but I'm gonna gouge them. And it'll go. You got a handsaw. It'll go through a coat or a shirt or whatever, and it'll really hurt.
Right, a hand comes in. You're
gonna just take it across. You're going to get blood everywhere, but they're going to pull their hand out. And that was always my thought. But after this guy walked up, and he didn't do anything, and I rolled my window up, and he was trying to get me to roll my window down. I was like, fuck you, not happening. And I was shaking the saw at him, and he just kind of walked away. I don't know if he wanted anything or not.
Oh, but that's now a wrong place to be coming up and asking for something.
Yeah. Well, now with the gun, am I going to shoot him? No, not necessarily. But am I going to point it out? Am I going to point it? You damn right I'm going to point it and let him know.
Well, that's another video. I don't know if I told you about that one. That was another bad one that I had seen maybe 6 months ago or something, where a guy's work truck was being stolen.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And he was like a city worker too. It was like his electrical work truck or whatever. It was getting stolen, and he runs up on the guy, and he had a gun. The worker had a gun, and he's pointing at the guy like, "Give me my car back." You know what I mean? And there's this exchange, and he did shoot into the car, but you could tell he like tried to miss the guy. He was just trying to scare him out of the car or whatever. But the guy ended up like pulling backwards, and, driving away.
Sure.
But then comes flying forward again. And it was the same deal. The dude hit the guy with his own truck, hit him with his own truck, sent him flying. Was that the end of it? No. Then he runs and starts doing donuts over the guy's head. Yeah. So if you're going to pull your gun out, you better shoot.
You got to use it. You got to be ready to use it, of course.
Right.
Well, dude.
But again, cars, we should talk about, because it's the second video I've seen where people have totally misjudged what to do when a car's coming flying at them. I mean, you got to go, in my opinion, as they're coming forward, you kind of like maybe take that hesitation, but then go as far
get away
this direction, like to either left or right, where the guy would have to like cut the wheel extremely hard to like go that
where they might spin out, right?
get away from any vehicle that he's going to hit to get to you or whatever. Jeez.
Get to the other side of the street, then maybe hit some brakes if you can so that they go zooming past and they're in the other lane where it would have to require a full turnaround or whatever.
I mean, a guardrail might stop a car from hitting if you got behind a guardrail or something like that. But just to... It's not a cartoon, in real life you start to see these videos of people getting hit by cars and not getting out of the way of a car. I don't know, man.
Dude, it's all dangerous now, man. It really is. And I know I talked about this on one of these damn shows. I can't remember which one now. But like going downtown to Cleveland, I just don't like to do it anymore. No. And I've never been afraid. I don't think I'm afraid necessarily, but it's like, why put myself in harm's way like that? Where Cleveland is like Chicago. In fact, it's actually in some stat, it's more dangerous than Chicago. So it's like, why am I going to put myself down there to go see fucking Bob Seger or whatever?
It's dangerous here in Oceanside, I'll tell you. Again,
you guys got that homeless problem too.
There's a homeless problem. There's we get a lot of like gangsters that like cruise the beach that like to come to the Strand with their. Some of them I like. I actually honestly like the culture of lowriders and stuff like that. Those people are usually pretty cool. They're not like thumping rap music usually. Like a lot of those guys might even have like music from some soul music from like the 60s or something, you know what I mean, like on an AM radio, or they keep it pretty legit. Maybe not, maybe some of them could have the ability to thump, but they're not down there for that. They're there to just kind of cruise the Strand with their really awesome looking cars, and that's more like on the weekends in the summer. But then you get this other element, which are just these like shitty kids that come from the east counties and stuff, or cities, and come there to the beach just to like screech their tires and play their shitty rap music all loud. You get homeless people that are there, and at night it gets even worse. Now I have to go for my walk tonight. I have to be aware of my surroundings, because I'm going to have to walk past some ghetto shit. As you get to the pier, it gets bad. I'm surprised that the cops don't hang out down here more often, because you would think they could give a lot of tickets, especially around 4th of July. The amount of people that come down here to light off fireworks, it kind of freaks us out.
Sure.
You don't want our building to burn down, you know? And that does happen. People forget that a firework can land on something and set a whole house on fire. It's not worth it, man.
They don't give a shit.
No.
I hate to be that guy, but they don't give a shit. But all right, let's do this. Take a quick break. We've been talking a lot about death and destruction. I'm going to change. I'm going to go to the other side of the pendulum here. I'm going to talk about a lot of life.
Great.
And something crazy that I watched this week that is unfucking believable. And when you hear this, you ain't going to believe it. And it's going to send you running to your TV. I swear to God. Because it's really fucking crazy. But before we do that, let's sell some of these. Let's sell some Erik Ferentino's picks.
I did sell some picks at the show, so thank you to those folks that picked some up. But
let's sell more online. Let's go. So check it out. It is a commercial, and then we'll be right back with some more right here on Chris Akin Presents.
It's the limited edition 6-big set from Erik Ferentino's. Get your autograph set today at ericpicks.cmspn.com. $25 includes first class shipping.
I drag the floor with the keys to your city. I smash the surface down into your life. I see the signs that were here for trouble. The hard road in the left behind. Killing time on things that money can buy.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It is Chris Akin from the Classic Metal Show, the Seth Williams Show, every other show in the world. Chris Akin Presents. Can't remember the one with my own name in it. But I know what I do remember. This book right here, and other things I should not say. That's right, this is the book you want to buy from me. It's especially you CMS people that like a lot of my dirtier stories. This is the one. This is the one that has all of the stories about my running around in the military, especially in Korea. It's filthy, folks. I'm not going to tell you that it's a biblical prophecy. It is anything but. It is a dirty book, but it has a lot of stories that I really shouldn't say, hence the title. But it's a great book. It's a fun read. I encourage you to pick it up. You can go over to Amazon and get it. Amazon, just look up my name and other things you should not say. And if you don't want to get it there, you can get it over at CHRISAKIN.net. It's there as well. So pick it up today. And other things I should not say, it is the latest book by me, Chris Akin. And